everyone, we're back again with more tarot readings for fellow authors' characters. That's right, I'm weird. I do tarot readings for characters. If you're interested, there's already several videos like this on my channel, probably in a playlist. I think I made one. Today we are doing 2 more readings. That's right, 2 for the price of 1, because these videos tend to be short anyway. So let's check it out. Now, if you are interested in having a reading for one of your own characters, you can let me know on one of my social media, all linked in the doobly-doo. Right now, I haven't gotten so many requests that I'm not able to do them just when people ask, but it might turn into a patron-only thing. We'll find out, especially if these videos continue to be fairly unpopular. But I still like doing them and helping my fellow authors out, plus they're a great way for me to practice my tarot, and they're just fun. So, we are going now with a couple of requests that I've gotten on Instagram, so let's see what we're gonna find out. I send out a little questionnaire, very short, about the character, just so I can get a light feel for who they are. I've got my laptop over here, that's what I'm looking at. The name that the author says we should use for the video is Celine, although her name might be a bit of a thing, a plot point perhaps. We have another fantasy story and a character with some elven blood. I recently did a reading for another character in a fantasy story with a very long name that uses a shorter name, so apparently that's a thing. I asked for a little bit about their personality at the beginning of the story. Apparently she is very precocious and ready to go. She's basically just waiting for the right adventure to come along. I asked for a little bit about the book. Again, obviously this is a fantasy. There is magic, there are swords, there are elves and centaurs and merpeople. So this is your fairly classic style of high fantasy. And we've got some good old-fashioned animosity between elves and humans. There is a romantic side plot, apparently, in the story that's fairly important, so the author does want to see if that comes up in the cards at all, so that'll be interesting, something to look out for. And we have another potentially tragic story, so we'll see what sort of ending card we get. Again, I do a 3-card reading that usually goes past, present, future, or sort of beginning of the book, middle of the book, end of the book. Also, this author is interested in any insights for the sequel that she wants to write. So especially that final card, I think, will maybe lead us into the sequel a little bit. And we can be looking for ideas and thoughts about the sequel as we do our reading. Okay, I think we're ready for our reading, so let me adjust the camera, let me move some cats, and we'll start. Okay, here we have our cards. We've got 2 reversed, which, again, these cards kind of spoil that there's going to be reversed cards. I just did a big reshuffle, and I ended up with a lot of reversed cards, so that's really interesting. Let's see what our first one is. 5 of Staves. Oh, I just got this one, but I think it was reversed, or it might have been upright in a different reading, actually. This 5 of Staves is starting to follow me. I'm starting to get suspicious. Staves are also wands. Obviously, wands represent magic, which does fit pretty well because our main character does make a study of magic. Upright, this card can represent conflicts and disagreement and competition, so possibly in the beginning of her life she may have a rival or someone that she sees herself in competition with that might like kick off a little bit of her adventure or some kind of rivalry that's gonna drive her forward. It's not major arcana, which is the thing. Like, if it was major arcana, I would say that it is the main driving force, the main thing that pushes her out. But actually, because it's just a 5 of Staves upright, I'm thinking that it might be a smaller plot point in the beginning. Maybe, again, a rival, maybe to learn magic, a bully, something like that, that does help form her personality and drive her and let us get to know her, but isn't maybe necessarily the main antagonist. Alright, let's look at the meat of the book. The 10 of Staves. We're getting a lot with magic. We're getting a lot with Staves, which is also wands, so. And this is reversed. Okay, this reversed 10 does fit for a main character sort of overall. This is a common feeling that a main character has of burden, of extra responsibility, of hard work. This is, I think, a pretty standard main character, middle of the book kind of situation where she is taking on more and more. She's probably learning more and more. Again, the magic angle really coming in. This 10 reverse can be a sign that she is trying to take on too much by herself, that she's going to need some help, maybe from that love interest, maybe. It is going to be important going forward with this card that if she's going to seek happiness and success, that she takes a step back and lets other people help her. And if she's not doing it, I think that might be leading to our more bleak ending. And let's just take a look at that ending right now. The Star reversed. So if we do finally have a major arcana, I wasn't sure if we were going to get one, but here we've got one. And this does fit pretty well for a bleak ending to a story as well. This is a loss of confidence. This is disconnection. This is a loss of hope and feeling overwhelmed, which does flow pretty well from this middle where she's taking on so much burden herself. She's getting to this point and is just feeling completely overwhelmed by it. It can be a feeling of being trapped, and again, it comes back to this as well, that need to take care of herself and find people who can help her. So I think it does kind of speak to that bleak ending, that she's just not getting what she actually needs. Like, she might be getting something, but she's not getting what she needs spiritually to survive, to be happy. And I think going into the next book, I think that might kind of answer the question that the author was asking about whether she could maybe find happiness in the next book. The cards feel like no. Oh no. The cards, well actually this card is not necessarily bleak. This card is saying that she needs to find hope again. She needs to find balance. She is out of balance. She is taking on too much. And possibly in the next book, that could be her arc, is finding that joy again, finding a way to set down her burden, finding a way to find faith and trust again. It would be really interesting to see if this jogs anything loose for our author, because this is a really interesting reading. Our author is Cynthia. So Cynthia, what did you think of this reading? Jane's right next to me making some noise. Do you think that it gave you any insight that you were hoping for? Was it close to correct? And did it give you any ideas about the sequel and where you might want to take it? Comment below and let me know. I'm really interested to find out. Also, tell me if in the beginning of the story, is there like a minor antagonist that she has to face? I'm really curious with that first card, if that was anything at all. Alright, we're going to get on to the next reading. Our next reading goes out to a username, Lil Bit of Ray. Just a little bit. Not a whole Ray, just a little. We have another fantasy story, this one classified by the author as a fantasy drama. Okay, this is one that I can get behind. This is a world where magic is looked down on and Templars are hunting down magic users. Mages are in hiding, there's probably going to be a rebellion. Our main character is Maximus. Hey, we're finally getting a dude in here. He begins the book at 10 years old and ends it at 17, so we might be looking at a young adult book here. He starts out his story as rebellious and uneducated and seems like a pretty standard little boy going on. We also find out a little bit about his sister, who is apparently a very important secondary character, so she may come up in his reading. Her name is Imogen, and you can bet that this story is going to put these siblings in conflict. I'm not going to tell you too much about the sister, except to say that there might be magic involved. We have another potentially bleak ending. Apparently this is a thing. Like, I usually end my stories fairly happily, but I guess maybe bleak endings are in. Especially, like, I don't know if all of these are going to be self-published, but do you think bleak endings are in the self-published world right now? This author is curious if the cards say anything especially about the ending, so again we're going to be looking at the final card, I think most of all as far as ideas being sparked for the author. Let's get down to the reading. Okay, here we go. We do have one reversed card again. A lot of reversed cards. Like I mentioned, I just did a big shuffle, so we got a lot of reversed cards in this shuffle. So let's find out what we got here. Let's do our past. The Hierophant. Okay, and this is a major arcana right away. This is an important card right away in their past because it is a major arcana. The Hierophant is obviously a authority figure in their life. I don't know if it's the sister because it does tend to be more masculine. But this does actually fit pretty well with our lead character, with the young man. Upright, the Hierophant definitely speaks to religious beliefs, conformity, tradition, and institutions. It is a masculine energy, so I think that we will find that our young man is influenced by another masculine figure in his life. I don't think it's himself, because this is too powerful of a card for it to be his own masculine energy. I don't think it's a parent, because we find out that they're dead, so this is probably some other influence. Maybe it's a Templar, but somebody that's definitely going to influence him down the road that he will take, again, of conformity and religious beliefs. So I think that really fits with his story of dealing with the Templars and potentially idolizing them. Alright, let's look at the middle of his story. The Three of Staves. Staves are also wands, so we are dealing with magic. This might be relating more to the sister. Okay, I'm not sure which one of them this is speaking to, but the Three of Staves speaks to progress, foresight, and opportunity. This is feeling like you're in a place of comfort where you can plan for the future. This is sure footing on solid ground. So our main character might be feeling pretty comfortable and confident near the middle of the story. It does speak to a need to not get too caught up in the one path, and you need to broaden your horizons and keep looking for new opportunities. It lets you know that there are changes and challenges ahead, so don't get too comfortable, which I think fits pretty well for our lead character in the middle of his story. Not really seeing a lot of evidence of his sister, but maybe that's waiting right here. Let's flip this bad boy over and find out. The Two of Coins reversed. Okay, this is not a major arcana card, so I'm thinking like the really important fundamental stuff is definitely at the beginning of the story. Coins, as we've discussed in other readings, also known as pentacles, are often a symbol of worldly possessions and wealth, separation from the spiritual. Okay, I can definitely see this going into his ending, because I think there's going to be a big upheaval. I think there's going to be things that overturn his certainty that he's had through this teacher, through the middle of the book, and certainty in himself and feeling like he knows where he's at. This is going to come along and just take the ground right out from under his feet. This is a card of overcommitment, of disorganization, changing priorities. So I think the end of the book is going to really see him have to reevaluate himself and everything that he thought was true. And I think that really is going to come in with his sister, the meeting of his sister again, and the two very different paths they have taken. Like I said, this reading does seem to be focusing pretty completely on him. We're not really getting much for the sister, unless the author is getting something from it that I'm not, because I don't know the characters as well as the author does, obviously. But I think this does speak to their meeting again and the issues that they're going to have, and the way that our main character is going to be thrown for a loop and going to be made very uncomfortable. This card can also mean that you are overcommitted, you're too committed to a path and to rigidity, and it can especially mean that you are overcommitted in things like career, things that are not spiritual, are not good for your inner growth. You can be overcommitted to those, and this card is just going to come in and mess with your day. Okay, so that was our reading. Author, if you're watching this, what did you think? Did I come close? Did I nail anything? Was that last little bit helpful at all for potential sequels? Unfortunately, our last card was not the strongest card. It was Minor Arcana, it was a 2, it was reversed, it just wasn't the strongest. I think it does speak to your story, at least what I'm understanding of your story, but I don't know how helpful it actually is with the sequel, except for maybe you can use it to really throw that main character for a loop. He is feeling too confident and too sure-footed, and you as the author had better mess with him. Okay, you guys, those are my 2 readings. Again, if you are interested in having one, you can contact me on any of my social media and let me know, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. I can't guarantee when it'll come out. If you like these tarot readings for characters, be sure to give them a like. Let me know that you're watching them and enjoying them, because they are one of my lower viewed type of videos, at least right now. If you want to see more tarot readings for people's characters, I already have some here on this channel, so go check them out. Otherwise, I have lots and lots of videos here that are about bookish and writing and nerdy things. There's so much to binge, so feel free to wander the channel and enjoy yourself. And if you must have brand new content, I put out new videos Mondays and Fridays, often with a bonus video on Saturday. And if even that is not enough for you, you can support me over on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive videos not seen here on the regular channel. So consider going to check that out. That's it for me. I will see you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!
Oh, hey there. I didn't see you come in. Well, you just sit right down and make yourself at home. You're just in time for patrons. Patrons like Adrienne, Amanda, Irene, Jenny, Jesper, Lisa, Ryakio, Sabby Panda, Savvy, Scribbling Cat, Shelby, and Zaire. Have you ever heard of a more awesome collection of patrons in your life? They are seriously the best. I also want to give a special shout out to new patron Shelby. I usually like to try to highlight any channels or blogs or websites they may have, but Shelby didn't have anything to share yet. But still, nonetheless, a very special welcome to our newcomer. Hello, Shelby. Sit down at my table, put your mind at ease. If you relax, it will enable me to do anything I please. I can read your future, I can change it around some too. I look deep into your heart and soul and make your wildest dreams come true.